Hello. It's been a minute. If you've seen any of my little videos that I've done that I have posted, you will know that I've kind of been I'm battling. So not only was I physically sick, I don't know. I think it was food poisoning. Not positive it was food poisoning, but the blunt of it, I mean, like the worst parts of it only lasted the first 2 days. And then the last 4 days, I've just been completely beyond exhausted. And I've been sleeping like, 18, 20 hours a day. Um, Today is actually the first day that I've been awake for more than a couple of hours at a time. So the, eh. I'm also really battling with depression right now. This is not new for me. What is new is how strong this time around seems to have a grip on me. Normally, I can get in here and just do some mindless collaging, stamping, whatever, and it kind of helps me write it out. Well, I've got a whole stack of stuff over there that I've already stamped. I've collaged 2 entire leaflet books, and it's hanging in. So, yeah. But I'm here. So Roxy's weekly challenge, week 21 and 22, I'm going to do during this video. They are actually essentially the same. She's working on hinged pages, and then week 22 she did hinged pages with a twist. So while I am doing 2 weeks in one, it really is essentially one single video anyway. So I'll go ahead and set my book aside. You may or may not be able to tell, my desk is still a mess. Again, with depression being what it is right now, I have not, and my sleep pattern, it's kind of hard to sleep while hard to clean while I'm asleep. Haven't really done much. So doing hinged pages, basically what that is designed to do is to take pages. So if you have a page, it's 8.5 by 11, to go into a half page journal, your images are all going to be sideways. And if you don't mind them being sideways, that's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. If you want them, or your brain requires you to have them upright, you're going to need to know how to do hinged pages. So what I have here is just a mix of different papers, some digital prints, some book pages, some ledger paper, a couple pages of, wow, I thought that was a couple pages. That's a single page. Sorry about that. I felt the sneeze coming. So let's just start with the basic hinged page. So I'm going to take 2 random pieces of paper out of my pile. They do not have to be the same size. They don't even have to be the same thickness. The key to it is that you want them to be able to fit in your journal. And so whether that means if they're too long, that you fold it in and make another tight side pocket, cut it off, it's entirely up to you. Now I want these to be at the top of my page. And obviously this page is shorter than this page. So you're going to put your hinge, if your pages are 2 different sizes, you're going to put your hinge onto the shorter page. Otherwise, you're going to have a whole bunch sticking over. So we're going to start with that. I'm going to cut this down. To the length of that page. Okay. I don't know why I threw that up there. I'm still just tossing it in my garbage. Anyway, it's now lost. It's now lost up in there. So, a strip. You can do this with fabric, which I've done. I did in my nephew's memorial journal for his baby that they lost. I hinged some book pages with some fabric. You can use paper, but you don't want it to be super crumply paper. You don't want it to be old paper that's going to fall apart, because again, you're hinging two pages together. It's going to be sewn through the center and as your signature. So you want to make sure that whatever you're hinging with is going to be strong enough to hold it. If you are going to use thin paper, I would never recommend using brittle paper. Fold it. If it cracks right away, don't try to use it as a hinge. Just thin paper, like some of these up here that I have are very thin, like dictionary page, for example. You could do a hinge on both sides, and then that gives you extra double thickness. And that usually, at least in my experience, has always worked for me. The width of your strip is entirely up to you. You can go an inch and have a super skinny one. You can go 2 inches and then you have an inch on each side. It's, but for me, I've got this stack of brown strip hinges here that I'm just gonna use those because they're here. Okay. So you're gonna fold that hinge in half. As I double check the length on this, it is still a little long, and it doesn't even have to be the same length as the short page. You can make it shorter if you choose. And then this is something else I like to do. If I can get to it without knocking everything else off my table, is I like to round the corners. It just gives it a little extra something. Okay. I didn't want to go to at the same time, so we're doing that one separate. And that just gives a little something extra on the page. Okay. Now this part's the no-brainer. You're going to glue one flap. I get my glue out. Yeah, my glue's been open for days. I did it again. Last time I did it 4 days. I hadn't been in my craft room, and I come in and all my glues are open. I'm like, oh. Tried to remember not to do that again, and here I am. I'm looking. My Fabri-Tac was open and stuck in there. My glue stick is still open. And you decide which page you want. I mean, it doesn't really matter, I suppose. You could also ink your hinge before you glue it if you want. I'm just lining that folded edge up with the edge of my paper. And that glues that down. Also got to give that a little squish there. This is a fake card. It's one of those, fill this out and you see if you qualify kind of things. Now, this paper, being that it's so much taller, I can do it from the bottom and leave this top up here. I could go up here. And then I could fold this up as a pocket if I wanted to. Or I can go in the center. Let me see, where's my ruler? Oh, right here in front of my face. I measured this before I started filming. I don't remember what it was. It is exactly 8.5. So this is tall enough. It's going to fit into a book with no problem. I am going to make it, I'm going to do it even with the bottom. Just because. Line that up. And then promptly mess it up. Got it all lined up and then moved it. Glue that down. You can do, like I was saying, you could do another strip here if you wanted to. You could put a strip of fabric. You could do washi. You can do, or you can leave it blank. For the purposes of this video, I am going to leave it blank. And again, this is where you're going to sew. So when you're sewing your book together and you're assembling your signatures, you know, your signatures are folded, right? This is going to go like this, and that's where you're going to sew. Make sense? I hope that makes sense. So simple. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. The just hinging the pages. So for if this signatures weren't sewn in, for example, and I wrapped this around, this would be this back page, and this would be this front page. And I'm just going to be paper clipping these in. Okay. There's one version of just a simple hinged page. Now, the other one that you can do involves a book page and a digital. Okay. Just going to take a random one out of here. I have these left over from the butterfly journal that I'm working on, so super no-brainer, simple. You're going to run some glue down an edge. Glue your pages on. Oh, bad example. Let's see what happens when you use paper that's too thin. Okay. This is going to get folded. So I'm just folding it back along the edge of this page. This is like your hinge. It's, you know, like as if I had folded this in half. Just folding that so that it fits. So then you have this page to decorate, and then you have this one that flips out. So it's decorated, flips out for hidden journaling spots on the inside. And again, this is the edge. This is the edge that you're sewing. Now, I could have folded this here and then left this at the length it was as well. But using the thin paper, this creates a double layer, and I'm actually creating where I'm going to be sewing the signature with the good paper or the thick paper versus the thin stuff. So this you'd want to use double-sided decorative paper, whether it's scrapbook paper cut down to size or a digital print, but you want it to be double-sided because, again, you're going to be opening this flip out up in your journal. Okay. So that is that for the simple ones, the no twist, the ones without a twist. That didn't stick down very well. And obviously the reason I'm paper clipping these in is because they're signature pages and my signatures are already put together. So can't really do that. Like looking at going, why isn't my mouse working? Maybe because it's turned off, perhaps, potentially. Okay. Now, with a twist, we're going to put these away because the twists come from the pages you're choosing to use. So with these, I am going to use the bigger pages rather than the book pages. These are, I have a huge World Atlas. It's super tall. I have cut them down to be at least as tall all of these papers are at least as tall as these. These are trimmed a little bit smaller because when they printed it out, they had the white border. So I cut it off so they're actually they're like 8 tall versus 8.5. Might be 8.25. Anyway. So trick number 1 is first figure out what you want to see. And if you want your words to be upright, that's the other part of that. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this under. Find something with some green. Go this way. Okay. You can do a thumb notch or not. It's up to you. But what you're going to do is you're creating a pocket. Ink or not, it is up to you. Now, doing it this way, you've got a couple options. You could glue this on here like this. If you don't mind losing, if you've got images on there and you don't mind losing them. It's not a bad looking picture all by itself, right? Or in this case, go this way. And then this gives you extra page to decorate. This also needs to be so I'm going to go this way. Make sure my pages are upright. And what I'm going to do is glue side, side, and side. Now, in the event that this was taller than this one, you'd have to figure out where to put your glue that lines up with this edge. And you'd have extra paper and extra paper. I don't have to worry about that. So glue on the top, beaded glue down the side, glue down the bottom, fold that over, and again, that creates a pocket. Right? Creates a pocket here. This folds over. Now you've got some choices. Oh, I've got some choices with this. I can either fold this, make this another pocket. I can fold it this way and make it a pocket going this way. I can trim it off. I can leave it just as a fold. I could even add another piece of paper to this, like so, and make it another flip out. So, lots of options what you can do when you've got pages. So don't cut your pages all to the same size. Leave some of them longer and then cut them at the end if you decide you want to cut them. But if you cut them off, then you've already gotten rid of your options. But if you leave at the flap until you're making those final decisions, you still have the option. What do I want to do with this flap? Do I want to turn it into a pocket? Do I want to use it to attach a page to and extend a page? Or do I want to just tear it off? And then you also got to get to decide where you're going to put it into your signature, because you got all these different, all these different places where it's folded. I would typically put it wherever my hinged page is. Wherever I put my two pages together is where I do my signature. And that gives me this on one side of the signature and this on the other side of the signature. You could do it here if you want, and then this becomes one whole page on one side, and this becomes a single page all by itself. It's up to you. I would say base that decision upon where you're going to get your best hold based on which paper is the strongest. And in my case, this paper is thicker than this paper. So this is where my strongest join is going to be. So in this case, I think, I think I'm going to go this way. Let's create another pocket there. Not that it matters, because this is going into my idea book. Because I'm not attaching another piece of paper here, I only need to glue up the top and the bottom. Ta-da! So that gives you one pocket, a page to decorate, a page to decorate, page to decorate. You open it up, a page to write on, and another pocket, all in one signature page, using two pieces of paper. Now that is one form of double journaling pocket. I'm going to turn this down just because it's not fitting in my book. Would not have to do that if I was actually sewing it in as a signature, or I'd at least have, be choosing whether or not I wanted to do that. But it was really butting up against the fold there, so it wasn't wanting to go in. So the other option, and I'm going to go ahead and use my music sheet, music paper. Just realized I left my mouse on because I bumped it and it opened up some stuff on my computer. So with this, and decide what I want to see and which end is going to be a pocket. So I'm just going to do a little fold here. Don't have to, because this paper is very thick. It's a good book, actually. And I only have one left. I think I might have some more out in the garage. I'll have to go look. Speaking of which, any of you junk journalers out there, if you're interested in book pages, please let me know. I got a ton. Okay, and then I'm going to fold this over. And I'm going to make it fairly shallow. This one I think I am going to ink just so you can kind of see, you know, where all the edges and stuff are. Okay. This page is going to be folded in. And this is going to become a pocket as well. And you have two choices here. You can fold this flat down and you're going to lose a little bit of that real estate over here on your width because you're going to have that bead of glue going down here and then the bead of glue down here. So you're going to lose a little bit of your height and a little bit of your width with your glue line. Or you can fold this in and create a gusset. I would cut this little tiny flap here, cut those at an angle just so that they lay flat inside your pocket here. Okay. And then you're going to glue the flap. Pay attention to where the edge of your flap is. I almost glued it. And I didn't fold it first, so how far over I need to go. And you're going to go up to, but not beyond, this fold line. Okay, so now when you open the pocket, you've got all the way over to the edge versus, you know, like this that you'd have with the glue line. It goes all the way over because you got the little lip there. You want to go down in there, make sure you didn't glue your pocket closed. Okay. Also need to make a decision if you want a thumb pull up here at the top. Okay. Now we've done this. Let's see, what week was that? Let's see, that was... Oh, these are the ones I'm doing right now. What week was that? Or did we do, or was it Melina or Gail that did it? Pockets. Oh, this was doing a hinged page with fabric. Pocket, hinged pockets. Oh, I think it was this. I think it was this week. Yeah, see. So we've done this before. Hinge the page, hinge this wood page onto here, fold it over, made the pocket. Same here. So way back on week 2, we made these. So with this, you have a choice, right? You could just attach this straight into your page like this, gluing here, here, and here, a little pocket, and then this will open up as a tip out pocket, right? Or you could set this up as a signature, which, because we've done these as pockets before, I'm going to go ahead and do it as a signature. Sorry, I got butterflies flying all over my desk right now. Let's see. And do I want to use... Let's use... These are Tina Shabby Dabby Doodah lace papers. I'll go with that one. It is not printed on the back. So this is a good use for like this to do as your base page, like, which is what I had intended this to be. So that this becomes your pocket. So I think I'm going to put that one back. I'll go this way. What's the height on this one? Should be 8.5. And then again, top, down the edge, across the bottom. Pocket. Signature. So this is a signature page, and this becomes the signature page. We're going to sew it in here. You have a pocket and a pocket. I think this is wider than 5.5, though. Yes, it needs to go like right down the center of that, right there. We're just going to go. We're just going to go like that. Put that off to the side. Okay. So again, here's where you're going to sew in. You got a pocket, a tall pocket, a signature page. You can journal here. Flip it over. You can journal here. And then you have a pocket. You're going to sew it in there. Okay, so there's option number 2 for with a twist. And then let me show you what to do. This is using your single-sided paper, right? I trimmed the white and the white. I left this because I'm going to be folding it anyway. So it's rather than losing the real estate of the printed image, I'm going to use the white that my printer did as my inner foldy flappy thing. And again, just trimming off, a little triangle. Reduces bulk. It also makes it so that this flap is not visible when you close it up. Okay, so this is going to be just a little different because what I'm going to be doing, rather than this becoming a pocket, it's just going to be like a hinge, like the hinged piece, like, you know, one of these. So I want to kind of straighten that out a little bit because it's very crooked. Not that I'm going to be able to straighten it too much with my naked eye, but you know. I think it's straighter than it was. So again, I'm going to do the hole punch, or the thumb notch, the thumb pull. Everybody calls that something different. And I don't know if you noticed, but my circle punch did not like cutting that little notch out of this paper. Okay, so I'm going to glue this closed. Along that edge, along the bottom. Okay. So again, what I'm showing you, if you did print something and you forgot to print something on the back, or you ran out of ink and couldn't print something on the back, or you purposely chose not to print something on the back, this is a good way to use that paper. Okay, so I've got that, and then what I'm going to do is find let's see. I'm just going to glue this down. Could round those corners like I did on the actual hinge. You can see how crooked that is. You know, round here and round here. Would have been a good fix for that tear, but that's okay. So again, this is what you have. And then you decorate, and then you have a little pocket here. So another twist on a hinged page. Would I consider that one of the simple ones? Maybe. I think I would consider this one of the simple ones because this is the same, essentially, as this. Right? Just this is not, you know, is not glued down because this is double-sided. You can open this and write on it. Whereas this is glued down as a pocket. So I would consider this not necessarily with a twist. But I guess in a way it is because you're using the page to make a pocket versus a writing space. But so there's 5 different ways to use pages in your journal. Attaching pages of different size, different width, different weight. Attaching them so that you can use them in your journal. and use them in an upright position. For some people that matters, for others not so much. It's entirely artistic choice. For me, for whatever reason, I don't mind sheet music being sideways. I don't mind my Japanese pages being sideways, but it really bugs me to have like ours sideways. Maybe for me, I think maybe I did like literally just occurred to me. It might not bother me because I can't read sheet music and I can't read Japanese. So the fact that it's sideways doesn't bother me because I don't know what it says anyway. Whereas things that are written in English in my native language, sideways, I know what it says and I have to turn my head sideways to be able to read it. I don't know. And I literally just processed through that with you guys. And I don't know if that's why, but for what it's worth, I don't mind sheet music being sideways. I don't mind foreign languages being sideways because I have a German book over there that I haven't been able to bring myself to tear into yet. And I have a German sheet music and a Japanese sheet music books. I don't mind any of those being sideways, but the ones that are written in English, it does. It just bugs me to have them sideways. So that's when I would use, I either use them in collage, or I hinge the pages like this, use them as extensions on pages and then decorate over them, leaving just a little bit of the word showing. I use them on tags, use them as fillers. So like if I have really thin paper, I'll back it with a book page and then a cardstock or something, just to kind of thicken those up. Books that have topics that I don't feel are appropriate for journals. I mean, this is the autobiography of this is a marriage and family book. So, I mean, it talks about all kinds of marital dysfunctions and how to deal with those. So I'm like, yeah, am I going to put that in a journal? No. I love the color of the pages. I love that caramel color. And when I come across pages like this, see, a man and a woman and their biological differences. You don't want that as a page in your journal. But I might pull it out, hinge it, and then put something over the writing. And then you just see that caramel color edge poking through, like as a matte finish. Or I might tear this out and make a journaling card out of it. Doing the same thing, covering up a majority of that, maybe leaving a little bit of the letters poking through, and then covering the back so that the back becomes a writing surface. And then this is becomes a journaling card or a tag or something. But yeah, it's like I have a lot of books. I've got a ton over here. I've got one of those 9 cubbies, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them are full of books. And I've got a whole box of books out in my garage still that haven't even made it into the house yet. Those are all my Japanese books. I got them at an auction. I just haven't made it inside yet, but they'll get here. They'll get inside eventually. All right, so that is Roxy's Weekly Creations. Excuse me. Weeks 21 and 22. Thank you for tuning in. I'm hoping my brain can allow me to get back onto my normal recording schedule, and I get back to doing 5 videos a week. Thanks to you for hanging in, those of you that have hung in with me, no matter how often or how infrequently I am getting videos up. I do appreciate the support. And we will talk to you in the next video. Bye.